live. We're almost live. It looks like we're almost live on LinkedIn. So we'll wait.
Alrighty.
But,
I'm going to go to your LinkedIn and
yeah.
look for your post so that I
Yeah.
can share it.
Yeah, let me get over there. Are you on?
I'm on it. Yeah, I've got it in the tab over.
Yeah, let me see.
Oh, it says uploading. Whoa.
Yeah, so Riverside uploads independently, right?
Wild.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Okay. So all we got to do now, dude.
Oh, I see us.
Yeah.
This is
there we
trippy
go.
as balls.
We're live,
All
dude.
right, I'm going to share this.
All right, go ahead. All right. Everybody, welcome to the Thinking Project Live. This is my good friend Jordan. We worked at Scipio together. Jordan knows what's up. He knows the deal with the podcast, but he doesn't know this next part. So we're going to do this. Do you remember when you sent me all those Instagram videos of the podcasters?
Oh,
Like
yes, dude. Yes.
Dude, it made its way over to TikTok. I've heard that Instagram, I don't have Instagram, but I've heard that Reels and Instagram Reels is a little bit ahead of TikTok. Or is it
Now,
behind?
it typically is behind. Typically, it's a bit behind, like multiple weeks behind.
Okay. Maybe it's because like TikTok almost got shut down and now we're bringing back some funny stuff from Instagram.
Very could be. Yes.
Okay. So here's the gosh dang it, dude. Okay. All right, we're gonna break this down. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna rate some TikTok advice. All right.
Uh-oh. Let me hop back to this screen. Yeah,
okay. Here we go. You ready? I hope everybody can hear this. Let me know if you're able to hear this, but you should be able to hear it. Hold on. Let's do a test. Can you hear that?
Dude, I can't hear it.
Okay. Let me see if I need to how I share the
audio with it.
The audio with it. Because, dude, it's way too funny for me not to also share audio. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Entire screen. Oh, wait. All right. I'm going to get this eventually, dude. There we go. Also share audio. Screen one. Share. Let's do a test.
Yes.
Okay. Here we go.
Got it.
We'll pause it as we go, but this one's for you, Jordan. This is how we're going to start.
Excellent.
Because we're doing a podcast. How fitting is this?
One of my married friends told me that when you get married, your husband or your wife or whoever you're marrying, when you get married, your partner actually becomes your immediate family.
Okay. All right, dude. There's one more. There's one.
Excellent.
I laughed so hard when I saw these ones. Wait for it. Okay. It says,
what does a day in a life look like for you? So I wake up every day at 2:45.
Everyone in this world literally lives once. Like, you've only got one opportunity in this world. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
dude,
this is great. This is great.
That's our intro to a podcast, dude. Isn't that so funny? I love the comments, dude. The comments are like, microphones should be pricier. He said,
so true.
Yeah, he said there's a bunch of other ones, man, like pulling it down. Yeah. He said, I was born at a very young age.
Oh, so true.
That's the state of podcasting. I've seen that. Like someone said, gotta start regulating the sale of podcast equipment. I don't think I've ever laughed so hard in my life.
Yeah.
Like as a because I remember like when I first started podcasting, and that was kind of like the thing to be like, you know, like try to say something as crazy as you can, or like try to be as insightful as possible, and it's just not possible. You just sound like an idiot.
When you have that level of intelligence, it's impossible. I think that we have background checks for guns and stuff, and that's excellent. But there might need to be some background checking for podcasting.
Yeah, you should
equipment.
absolutely have to. You should have to pass an intelligence test.
Yeah,
to have a podcast.
Dude, I'll vote on that.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I wanted to talk to you. Like, you're obviously in marketing. You've
Oh.
been very successful there. We had a really fun time at Scipio.
Yeah, we did.
And I wanted just to talk about content marketing. And then as we were preparing for this, I was like, I was doom scrolling or whatever. And
Mhm.
I'm like, I run across this video and I'm like, oh, dude, how many times do I do that? But I think like, what's the strategy though? Because I've seen some really good podcasts out there that have one view, right?
Mm.
Then you have stuff like this that's just so stupid, but the algorithm likes it, dude. And like obviously nothing
Yep.
happens with those podcasts, right? Like nothing
Yep.
of value comes from them, but they're the ones that get the views.
Oh, totally. Well, and the algorithm is a dumpster fire in and of itself. I feel like TikTok
Oh,
specifically is like a completely different beast because it's based on interest. And
Mhm.
what's the universal interest? Is fail videos, people looking like idiots. Everyone just wants to feel
yes.
better about themselves. And so seeing someone be a complete idiot on camera is just the most glorious thing to watch. As
Yeah.
as a mediocre white male myself, I love watching other people look stupider than I am, and that makes me feel okay about myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Dude,
that's my hot take. Hot
Okay.
take of once you get married, you are now immediate family. I heard that one time.
Oh, there was another one. Should I show it? There's another one. He says something stupid, but it's true. Like he says something stupid, like I tried to buy my dad a car and he said no, and the guy's ripping out again. It's so stupid. Like
It
you have to be able to like provide. Okay, so this is a great segue into like how you provide value without
Yeah.
sounding like an idiot. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because and then I was just talking about this, but I'm going to let you kind of riff on this, but I was just talking about this, and you know how I feel about the word value.
Mhm.
I really don't like it because it's just like I don't know what that means, and you're going to try to like do this thing, and really what's valuable to someone else isn't valuable to another person. But when you're creating content, how do you start like deciding what type you create? I mean, there's a big push right
Yeah.
now for content. Like I love outbound sales, right? Like I love cold calling, but there's something really special. And
But
it's
you
all,
and I kind of know you wish you picked my career path instead of your own. So
listen,
you wish you'd come
content
over to
market-
marketing.
I wish I could be a content marketer now, but now I'm too late.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love what you hit on with the value and how do you decide, and like we just showed, just about anyone can get a camera and a microphone and start to make valuable content. Um, and then there's people that do like genuinely make really good stuff, like you mentioned, and it never serves anywhere, right? So
Right.
there's kind of this balance that I think you need to find. And one of the big things here is like, what is your target audience? Is it a B2B space? Are you customer facing? Are you a consumer product goods brand, right? So like start with like, who are we? How do we make money? Number
Mhm.
one, like that's
Mhm.
square one.
Yeah.
After that, to build on that, you say like, okay, this is how we make money. Who do we make the most money off of, and like why? Right. So
Mhm.
you kind of get into, and we've talked about this before. I feel like I'm being a little redundant, but I'm
Mhm.
going to just be like super basic. So who we're making products for and why they like it. Get to the pain, right? Like we talk about
Mhm.
pain. I feel like that's too vague as well. You hate the term value. I kind of hate the term pain because it's like, yeah, stubbing your toe is painful, but you can't make a product for that. Like you just deal
Mhm.
with it. And too many people think they found this like great issue, and it's like you stubbed your toe. Like no one's really going to buy anything to make that better, right? Like you just deal
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
So find out what problems you're solving and for who, how the value's there, and then take that group, the ideal customer profile, I just call ICP, right?
Mhm.
And that's what you're looking at. Like, what do they like? What's valuable to them specifically? Because, like you mentioned, dude, you can never please everybody, and when you
Yeah.
try to please everybody, you end up pleasing nobody. So start with like, how do we make money as a business? What's our actual why? Who does that impact? And what do they care about? Now
Yeah.
let's find a way to add value for them. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I like how you phrase those because I've been in this space long enough, and one of the skills I learned in sales a little too late was copywriting. So I remember
Mm,
going down this copywriting rabbit hole, and like obviously the first thing is who are you writing to, and like why should they listen to you? But I like how you phrase this for business owners, and I think that that's pretty valuable for like especially someone who's starting out or maybe a little bit smaller, which is like how do we make money, and then who will spend the most money on that?
yep.
Because it's
Yeah.
true. Like you don't, because there are different things. I was just talking to like an accountant today, right? We love our CPA guys, and they're busy this time of year. But you know, it's like,
Yes.
do I want to do $50, $100 personal tax returns, or do I want to do $5,000 multi real estate investor tax
Yeah.
returns? You know what I mean? It's like
Absolutely.
people will spend money on it, but like, do it like, I mean, if you want to do it, I know plenty of people who do individual tax returns and they love it and they're busy and they do enough, right? But it's
Totally.
kind of like you got to figure out what you want, because there will be more people. You know, you find a real estate investor who's got 15 doors or he's
Yeah.
got a couple multiplexes. That dude's spending quite a bit of money on his taxes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And really, dude, I feel like too many people break things down and then stop before they get to like how the business actually makes money, right? Like they'll make content for these people and they'll add a ton of value, but then they don't know how to ask in return. And so then they're like, oh yeah. I was watching the Mr. Beast interview with how Freak was. It's like the CEO interview
Oh
podcast.
yes. The
You know what I'm talking
Stephen
about?
Bartlett or whatever. Yeah.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you. Last night, and he was talking about how he didn't make money for years, dude. Like he'd like make money and just put it right back in, and
Yes.
wasn't ever profitable, right? Too many business owners do that, but don't have the longevity, the stamina, and the prestige that Mr. Beast had. You know what I mean? And so then they're like,
Yeah.
they're trying to pump out this content to add value, but they're not thinking about their margins and how they actually make business, like make business decisions that impact the bottom line.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, because truthfully, and what's interesting about the Mr. Beast thing is I've heard his story a few times, like on a few
Mhm.
different podcasts, and he's got a crazy story. But I like what you said about having, I call it the appetite, right? Like
Mhm.
when I'm talking to people about sales, I go like, yeah, it's cool. You want to have a sales engine, but like, do you have the appetite for this to like take a year?
Yeah.
And I remember doing the same thing when I was doing podcasting for people. Like I was helping companies build their podcasts. I was like, look, if you don't want to do this for 6 months to a year, like just don't do it. Like we
Yeah.
might, or this is why podcast equipment's so cheap. Or just go buy your own and start doing it and then quit whenever you want.
Totally.
Because it takes time, right? How do you,
Absolutely.
and then again, I was just reading this again. I'm in a group and they're like, you know, sales isn't hard. Lasting a long time in sales to get good at it is hard.
Yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like the longevity is hard.
I'll say the same is true for marketing. Marketing isn't really that complex. Like, yes, there's a lot of intricacies.
Mhm.
Anyone can do marketing. It doesn't take a specific person, doesn't take a specific mindset or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you have to be willing to fail. All your failures are kind of public, right? At least within your company, right?
Totally.
You got to be
Totally.
comfortable with that. And then
Yeah.
you've got to be comfortable like waiting things out, because there
Yeah.
are, if you're in SEO, dude, it can take 6 months before anything changes at all. Like all of the work that you've done takes us 6 months before anything changes. Now that's
Mhm.
relative and it depends on competition and all that, but it's like
Yeah.
you have to be able to set really clear expectations and kind of not predict the future, but forecast really well and then
Mhm.
educate on that forecast.
Yeah, I think too many business owners get into it and they expect it to be hard. But I remember talking to Sean Finnegan, and you know, it's 10 times harder than you think every time.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? He's like, it always takes more money, it always takes more time, it always takes more energy than you think. And
Yeah.
there's something to be said about that. But I also think that it's good though. Like I think the pros and cons of living in like such an entrepreneurial state are the fact that like we have so many people who just go for it and like they just send it, which I think is a beautiful thing and a beautiful mindset to have. But
Yeah.
then you're like, okay, but you can't ask, you know what I mean, like your attorney to write this for free. Like there's things
Yeah.
that we have to spend and there's time that's going to be needed to take,
Yeah.
but everybody needs it yesterday. So like when I go into a sales place, I'm like, what's your goal and how soon do you need to hit it? And it's usually like $1 million and yesterday. It's like, okay, well, I'm not the guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know about you, but when I drank my water, it stayed as water earlier today. I'm not that guy, pal. I'm not that
Yeah,
guy.
for real, dude.
So
But
yeah.
but so many people get into that trap, and that's the kind
Yeah.
of the double-edged sword of living in Utah where we are. So many
Yes.
people. Oh my god.
They believe in miracles, baby.
And
It's,
you know
it's
what
excellent.
happens when you believe in miracles? You let
No.
freaking Aaron Wagstaff run around here scamming people. Dude, did you
Well,
hear
dude,
about this?
Oh, I was gonna go Jeremiah the Bull Evans, dude.
Yes.
You
And there
yeah.
was another one. So you got like Wagstaff Capital, that Aaron guy.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have Jeremiah the Bull or whatever. Then you had who was just on KSL. It was
Oh, dude, I didn't see this one.
Peter something. I
Didn't
think
see it.
between those three people, it was like what did they say? I think the Peter guy that I just read was like almost 10 million. I think Jeremiah the Bull was like
5 or
20 or no,
was
no,
it
no.
20?
Jeremiah
Was
was
it
up in
that
the
big?
20s.
Oh,
Bro, yes. Where's
Dude,
where's Jamie? Where's the damn? Where's our? It's me. I'm just
Pull it
kidding.
up. Pull it up.
Read
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Read it.
pull it up on the screen. No, dude, for real though.
Dude, Jeremiah and I went to high school together for one semester. He came to play football for our high school and then
Wow.
got beat up by a sophomore. So
Okay, and you know what was
he
funny?
bounced fast.
Yes. Okay, so here you go. Here it is. We're just
Pull it
gonna,
up.
We're just gonna do these live. Yeah, we're doing live. Yeah. Okay. So here's Jeremiah the Bull. This is Salt Lake Tribune.
20 million. Yep.
20
Dang.
million. Then you got, who was this? What? It was Aaron
Wagstaff?
Wagner.
Wagner.
There you go.
Who's this guy?
There you go. By the way, I hate the Salt Lake Tribune. They're so crazy, dude. These freaking guys will be like former Mormon.
Wait, dude.
Is
this the exact same cover photo as Jeremiah's?
It might be. So you have Aaron Wagner. Both of these guys, former BYU football players. 15. They wrote a number on here. It was a crazy number. Hello, Sugar Dirty Bird.
2 million.
Yeah, tens of millions. Alleged tens of millions of dollars. Fraudulent investments. That's crazy. And then there was another one.
You said Pete or something?
Yeah. Peter. It was like an Amazon lawsuit, Utah. There it is right there. Another guy, 9.2 million people buying crypto. And I think this one was also a freaking Amazon. Yep. He would set up automated Amazon stores and go there. So Parker, not Peter. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Parker Wild.
Parker Wild.
Dude, isn't that nuts?
Crazy.
But listen, this is what happens when you believe in miracles. This is what happens when someone says, I need
I'll
to
make
hit
you
my
$1 million
goal yesterday.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I need to hit my goal yesterday. And you're like, and this guy comes up and he's like, I can do it. He's the only one. He's the only one that can do it, and I found him. You're like, okay, well, that's why.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
that's why.
Dude, and honestly, I started working at a pest control agency. Well, not agency, pest control industry in January, and they've worked with a bunch of agencies recently. And I was talking to our owner about like, hey, we need to fix this and we need to fix that, and they did this wrong and they did this wrong, and we're gonna fix these things. And he was just like, man, like agencies are just a scam. And I was like, well, the agencies that most people hire are a scam. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Because most people end up going with the people that promise everything, and those are the people that are lying. You know, so you kind of have to. I don't know. It's difficult because
you don't know what you're doing. And like when someone comes in and they say, especially for business owners, so maybe this podcast episode turns into a little bit of like, if you're a small business owner and you need to hire this stuff out, like here's what to look out for. You know what I mean?
Be cautious.
Like every good salesperson I know will go up and be like, no, any function you want to put into a sales team, right? It just takes time. Like, you know, I exaggerate with a year sometimes, but like sometimes it does
not
take
always.
a year. Yeah,
or
I mean,
more.
like, I would say you got to be in it for that long, and if it happens earlier, then great. But like, you know, we're gonna run this for 6 months. Like, we're gonna tweak it,
you
we're
gotta
gonna work
commit
it, like, and we're gonna go 40 hours a week, right? We're gonna do it 8 hours a day, and it's gonna take us this long. And it's just this, like, I don't know what it is, man. You know what else? I have a theory about this. It's part of it is all these damn TikToks about like, you don't need to go to college. Stop it, dude. You let a bunch of billionaires tell you that you don't need to get education.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Absolutely.
Like,
dude, and I've got mixed feelings on higher education. As you know, I did adjunct. I was an adjunct professor at UVU for a minute.
That's
there.
right,
And
that's right.
Dude, there's just so much bureaucracy and everything at like the
Mhm.
college level. And not to say that like UVU is a bad school. I freaking love UVU, man. They do a lot of things right. But it's just not the same as being in the industry. So I feel like too many kids have the expectation that going to college for 4 years, and specifically in marketing, right? Because
Mhm.
there's marketing, there's digital marketing majors, and people are like, well, now I can go and get a full-time job making $80,000 a year because I have a degree. And it's like, that doesn't mean you know how to do anything, right? Like
That's
that means
right.
you know how to write
That's
like
right.
educational papers, academic papers.
Yeah.
Means you know how to study for a quiz. Like I'm not studying for a quiz. I'm asking you to go execute on something well.
Right.
So it's kind of that balance of like, is it important? I think so, dude. Like I really got a lot out of school for me. It was great,
Mhm.
for networking. Like I met a lot of good mentors in school,
Right.
and even a lot of good peers that I'm still close with today. So there's value on like the network side, and then I think it's value in dedication and hard work, right? Like sticking out to the end of your degree kind of shows like, okay, yeah, you were committed to something and you stuck it out. Kind of like we're talking about with these
Yeah.
business owners, dude. Like
Yeah.
they want something that's going to work immediately, and it doesn't work like that. It's
Yeah.
we're starting the process.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is college for everyone? I don't think it is, man. And
No, it doesn't have
I
to
know
be. No.
I know people that go into the trades and do incredibly well for themselves. My
Absolutely. Absolutely.
uncle, this is kind of the exact opposite of what you're talking about. My uncle, Jeremy Hansen, he's co-owner of Any Hour, Electric Heating and Air. Did
Oh
he dropped out
God.
of he was going to college to be a dentist. So he was doing like pre-med,
Oh,
was
that's
going to go to
crazy.
dental school, started a construction company in St. George, like right after the crash, and just like
Uh-huh.
was making buku bucks. His brother-in-law was like, come up north and like move up to Utah County and run this heating and air company. And dude, they're freaking
Yeah.
loaded now. Like they did
Wow.
incredibly well building that business.
Dude.
And
I
he
mean,
dropped out of
Hour.
college. That's the exception, not
I
the
agree.
rule,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's like some people are
Yeah.
just built for it.
You're like,
That doesn't mean you should go do that. That means
yes.
he got pretty lucky. He had the right things lined up at the right time. Was at a position when the economy was a total dumpster fire to just
Yeah.
maximize his profits. But that's not you. You know what I
Well,
mean?
no,
Like that's not
and
everybody. Some
you
people,
know,
yes.
you get these guys on a TikTok podcast who are like, "What's the common denominator? Elon Musk. These guys, they all
all
dropped
dropped
out of
out.
college. Dropping out of
Yeah.
college will make you a billionaire." And I'm like, well, okay. The next class you were supposed to take in college was the course that taught you like correlation isn't causation. Like that.
Yes.
That was actually the
Well, I was
next
going to say
class.
business ethics was the next class. They didn't learn any of that, but I mean,
That's
it's all
crazy, dude.
it's all relative.
Dude, but yeah, for real. It's like I like it.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I was okay, so all right, shameless plug here. I was my kids and my wife love watching Project Runway. And
Okay.
you ever seen that on Netflix or whatever? So they like watching Project Runway. And it's like this it's this design show. And last night I was thinking about this. I was like, it just reminded me of a lesson that I learned in college from one of my accounting professors, and he told us it's not what you're learning, it's how you're learning it. And so it's like this design show is kind of the same thing. So a lot of people will go to school and be like, I never use calculus anymore. And it's like, right, but you know how to problem solve.
Yes.
Right. Like
yes.
all these gen ed classes are boring and they're stupid. Yeah, but you know how to do mundane tasks because like your job is going to be boring. There's going to be shit.
You
that
know how to
have
follow
do.
instructions really well.
Well, yeah, and there's going to be stuff that you don't want to do, but you're going to have to do. Like it's part of the gig. This is part of what we have to do to get there. Like this doesn't help me make any money, and you're like, well, not really, but like if it doesn't get done, you don't have a business. So like,
yeah, right. And 90% of people that end up making TikToks don't make any money either. So
I know.
You know what I mean?
know.
It's
These
like
freaking
everyone.
guys,
Yeah. I don't know.
These freaking guys are crazy. But I like it though. Content has a really great way of sparking conversations that you wouldn't normally have. So I guess there is a time and a place for stupid content to pop up. These guys are doing the Lord's work because
Yes.
God knows I won't do it. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yes. Did we tell him they were the Lord's TikToks? That's the real question.
Dude, that's so funny. No, but I think one thing I liked about content was like even at Scipio it helped us. We were doing kind of like B2B content, which I think is harder in a sense than like B2C a little bit.
I will say it's less competitive because like nobody does it
That's so
well.
true, dude.
So that was
That-
kind of
yes.
we did kind of hit the jackpot there on that
Yeah.
sense of
Yeah.
no one
here's a
in our
good-
space was really doing anything.
That's true. Here's a good question though. Okay, so you got this idea that content, you know, we're going to create content, we're going to start building a little bit of brand authority. You know, there's three things, you know, you can create content for, you know, there's like awareness, engagement, and then like, you know, like
Conversion.
purchasing,
Yeah.
conversion.
Yeah.
I think I live in the camp that like you just create engaging content and you can figure out like the other one, right? But
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, but here's my question. Let's come back
Yeah.
to that
I was like, get to the question,
Yeah,
man.
shelf
This
this
is a
one.
statement.
Well, yeah, it's ADHD. My bad. The
Yeah.
question is, should businesses focus on their personal profile or a business
Ooh.
profile?
That's a good question, dude. I feel like there's this whole movement right now that like the brand page is dead. Don't do
Mhm.
anything on brand and LinkedIn. And to an extent, that's probably true. The
Right.
algorithm definitely gives preference to people over companies as far
Yeah.
as like a creator made this content versus a business made this content. But dude, there's a lot of businesses now that are doing they call it, there's this whole idea of UGC, user generated content. Now
Yes.
they're doing EGC, employee generated content. Have you heard about this at all?
I mean, yes. I mean,
Okay.
I haven't heard the term EGC, but I see it, right? Like I get it.
Yeah. And so it's almost like well, and I know
Feels
a
a
lot
little
of
tricky to me.
yeah, a lot of businesses are hiring a former creator to come in and create content within the company with the employees. And the idea behind it is like you're turning your company from a business into a persona, and your persona is the people. Which
I like that. I like
that
that. Well,
has
because when you hire somebody, you hire for the culture. Like part of it
exactly,
is going to be
yeah.
our culture fit, and so you know we want people on brand with that. And so if we and I mean you can get fired for stuff you say on social media.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's the
So
thing that's tough is it's a double-edged sword because
yeah,
everyone wants their employees to make content, but nobody wants their employees to make their own content. Do you know what I mean? They're like,
right.
"Oh, no, you can't post that.
Yeah.
Post what
Yeah.
we want." And that's what I think the struggle is with quote unquote brand pages at the moment is everyone
Mhm.
wants to have the content be perfect and curated and nobody wants to watch it, dude. We
Yeah.
want to watch those stupid podcasts of people saying that when you get married, you're now immediate family and how it's
He's
groundbreaking and how
like,
it's a
did you
hot
know
take.
that?
Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like that's
So
literally what marriage is, actually. So
so this
yeah, I
is
did think about that.
interesting. If you're talking about like employee generated content, this is the part that's interesting because there's kind of two camps, right? You got this.
Mhm.
So someone like me, right? Like I'm like that's my page, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's my page. If I want to
Oh,
post it, I'll post it. But
dude,
here's the
employee
thing, though.
generated content isn't always on your own page. They're doing it as like their whole business page now is just like day in the life of our employees celebrating wins,
That's cool.
and they're changing it.
Oh, you know what I saw? You know who did that really well? I saw Gab do that. Shout out to
Yeah.
Gab. They
Yeah,
did like
yeah.
they gave like 5 of their like 7 of their employees all cameras, told them to like document themselves for a week, taught them how
Yeah.
to do it and stuff like that. That was actually a really, really cool video. I
Now,
really like that.
Gab is awesome because of like the company and the culture that they've created. You got to be careful because some brands say that they're one thing, and then if you're going behind the curtain, you find out that they're another. So this works
Yeah.
really well for brands that are authentic. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Gab, once again, shout out to Gab. They are
Yeah.
authentic. They are who
Yeah.
they say they are. And that's where it's like that's what people want. And so you got to actually
Yeah.
be who you say you
I'm
are
with
in
her.
today's day and age. Like authenticity is the new luxury, right? Like
Right.
people aren't authentic anymore.
Yeah.
Personalization is like fake now, right? It's
That dude, yes. And so I said this in sales. I was like,
Mhm.
personalization is like no one cares, dude. Like
Yep.
I really like that you watched an episode of my podcast. I really appreciate it. But like, dude, if it's like, but I'm not gonna buy, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I'm not just it's not like thank you for learning about me, but like it's not relevant to me. So I always said that. But here's the thing I wanted to get to because there was this one I can't remember his name. He worked, and maybe I won't say his name, but he worked for Motivosity for a long time.
Mm.
And he built this brand on LinkedIn, and I just watched him for a few years and just build up this huge brand. And then like around his position at Motivosity and around, I mean, it
Mhm.
was kind of like a blog, right? Like he was just telling
Yeah.
himself about, I don't think he was making content for Motivosity per se,
Yeah.
but he was building up his content around this idea that like, you know, this is what he does and this is who he is. And he works at Motivosity. Okay. Cut to he leaves Motivosity.
Now what?
Motivosity doesn't get any of those.
Yeah. Yep.
None of that following. Now, I
No.
don't think there was, I don't know the whole situation, but there's probably not bad blood and like there's probably a good
Yeah.
relationship there. But like, can you imagine, like, I don't know, man. It's just weird. Like, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
you take
and
all of
that's-
that, you build all of that up for your company, and then like it works, and then you're like, hey, peace out. Or they're like, hey, peace out. And then you
Yeah.
just leave, and the company doesn't get any of this. There's no retained.
It's almost like you make a bunch of ads and then you start running them and then you leave, but those ads with your face are still on them.
They're still there, dude. I actually have a really fun. Remind me to tell you the story after this. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
We'll
it's
chat
true.
later. We'll chat later.
But you
Yeah.
become the face of it, and then you're just like, you know,
And then you're
um,
gone. Yeah.
it's just that's the kind of dynamic that I think about when you talk about employees creating content for the company.
Yeah, and so that's why they're, like I was saying earlier, a lot of them are doing it from the brand page. So it's like their
Yeah.
LinkedIn content isn't like join our webinar. That's definitely not a sales pitch, right? Like, which is what every B2B company does. And then
Yeah.
instead, it's like, hey, look, this is Johnny, our account rep, and look, he's taking like 200 calls today for our customers, and he's awesome. Like, meet Johnny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not just a voice on the phone that helps you with your problems, but like meet him in the real day to day.
Yeah.
And then your current customers, when they call and they're like, oh my gosh, I saw you on LinkedIn. I know who this, and it's almost like a brand building, I don't know, experience.
Yeah, no, it's true. Well,
But
dude,
it does, like, to your point, man, like
Mhm.
it has to be done by the brand. And it's almost like there's employees behind the scene that's their whole job, right? Like at these bigger companies, that's their whole
Totally.
job, is to make this content. And then you think about it, like the person behind the camera is probably never on the other side of it, right? So it's kind
Yeah.
of this funny thing of maybe they're out creating their own content for their own page, and
yeah, maybe.
that's how they're landing these gigs.
I tell people, like, you know, this is I don't know if it's a hot take per se, but I tell people, like, if the first time that you can hire an employee, or the first time that you can spend big money on like outsource to help you grow or something like that,
Mhm.
my first employee hire would be a content creator, like a
Oh, really?
videographer. That'd
Dude,
be
mine
my
would be a
very, that'd be
Might be a lawyer. I just sue all my competition to no, I'm just kidding.
send cease and desist letter.
Yes, everyone.
I don't like you. Hit. But no, you know, but I'm serious. Like, and people go like, you wouldn't
Yeah.
hire a salesperson? I'm like, you got to like know your business. But like for me
Yeah,
right now,
yeah.
I'd be like, if I could go, you know, hire somebody for like 60, 70, 80 grand a year, and I could do that, like the
Yeah.
first one would be I'd hire a videographer, like a direct,
Yeah.
like that's it.
Dude,
And
that's
we
a
would shoot-
dangerous move. I don't know. I don't
We
know if
just
I
shoot
agree with
content.
that hot take. And I'm gonna give
Well,
my
let's talk
rebuttal.
about it. All right.
Yeah, let's fight, dude. Gloves are coming off.
I think so.
Um,
I think I would.
Yeah.
Because you got to know a little bit of marketing. You got to know a little bit of copy. I need you to tell me. I
Okay,
need you to
so-
tell the story. You know.
So what you're saying is you want to hire a unicorn. That's my problem with this.
No. I want no, because I know my story, right? I know like how I'd want you to capture video. I know, you know, but you want someone smart, but then like, yes, I want a videographer who could help me like document this and like,
Okay.
create content so we could put it out.
So
there.
more of a storyteller that's good at video. That's what you want.
Well, yeah,
that
I mean,
correct?
I don't, yeah, but like, I guess all videographers aren't created equal. But when I think videographer, I'm like, you're able to tell the story through the lens, right?
Okay. And my thought is a lot of storytelling isn't good marketing and isn't good selling. It's good storytelling.
Yeah.
Now, I will say Donald Miller story brand stuff is excellent. And if you're
Right.
making those kind of stories, then yes, I
Yeah,
agree.
yes, of course, yeah.
But then that's marketing and sales simultaneously, dude. That's what that is.
Right. But I'm the sales guy. You just like that's what I'm
Okay.
saying,
Well,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
you're okay. In your scenario, I'm saying like most business owners, dude, they know how to do the business operation, right? Like if we're talking about small business owners,
Mhm.
I don't know. We'll say you're
Just anybody random.
HVAC guy or something, right?
Yeah.
You're not a marketer, you're not a sales guy necessarily. Maybe you've got enough skills and enough chops to like make it to the point where you can hire somebody. But if you
Yes.
hire a videographer, like, dude,
Well, then
I think you're in
you
trouble.
But then I did put the caveat on there, agency. Like I'd go find an agency who could be like,
Okay.
maybe because yeah, I agree with you. Finding that one unicorn is
It's
almost
so,
impossible.
and you're not going to pay him 60 to 80. You know what
That's
I mean?
fair.
Like
That's fair.
you're going
But
to pay him a lot more.
But an agency would take
Agency
that.
would do it. Oh yeah, all
An
day long.
agency would take that, and they do pretty good. I think they do pretty good.
If you hire the right
If
one.
you hire the right agency.
I hear as soon as Jeremiah gets out of prison, he's starting an agency. So
Here's what you do: you go to you go to BYU football, you
and
piss
then
off the Salt Lake
you
Tribune, and they'll write a story about you.
and then you start AlphaCon, and that's how you get it
Dude, he
going.
was AlphaCon.
That's AlphaCon,
Okay.
man.
I remember
Yeah.
that, dude. I remember when that whole thing went down, and I was like, "This has got to be a joke." Like I thought it was satire. I was like, "All right." I was like, "Okay, where's the onion, dude? Like, where's the pit? Like,
Where's the onion?
dude,
Yeah.
like,
Babylonian
this is
Bee, what do we got
Babylonian
here?
Bee, dude.
Yeah,
No, it
yeah.
was real. I was like, "Oh, it's real. This is scary, dude."
Oh no, it's like Captain
No,
Holt.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, no. AlphaCon, that, bro. Listen,
Dude, let's talk about that though. Let's talk about how to hire an agency.
absolutely. I think so. Like, what kind of agency do you want? Right.
Any
Yeah.
agency, dude. What's your criteria for hiring an agency? Well,
Dude, I don't know. I mean, I'm legitimately talking right now where I'm like, the second that I can get to a point where, obviously I can have everything in the business functioning like with money, and I
yeah,
can start
yeah.
spending. I'm going to a content agency. I'm going to somewhere like Film Lab or something that
Okay.
I can create content for a purpose. I can get some guidance on like engaging content, because my
Yeah.
play behind the content is to use it to create cold lists. So shout out to we're actually talking to him right now, but like what's his name? Of course, dude, my ADHD brain is on fire right now. Anyway, Robert Clark, Rudiment.
Mm.
Those guys are
Mhm.
killing it over there. They're doing something
What's the
really
company
special.
again?
Rudiment, I think
Rudiment.
is what they do. But yeah, so something like that, you have a content like, so it's kind of like inbound led outbound, kind of like
Yeah.
content led selling. Like I think that's, dude. I mean, that's what we were getting to at Scipio.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, it was. I agree. Yeah.
we were
Well,
getting
and-
to more of content focused and led and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think the beauty of content, like we talked about earlier, is the amount of actual information you can convey and help that you can give to a business. I won't call it value. I know that's your swear
Yeah,
word.
but like it's helpful.
But yeah, you're giving them actual helpful tips and tricks, and it damn well better be tied to how your business gives them help, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, and I think that's what some people do wrong on content, is they think like, oh, I'm a creator and I'm just gonna make something that's engaging and valuable. Like I'm gonna be Alex Ramosi, and it's like, no, you're not. Like think a little more strategically. Let's look at like, okay,
Yeah.
who are we going
But-
after? How are we making money with this? Yeah, go ahead.
But I was gonna say, Alex Hormozy is a great example of this, of the idea that I brought up, which is like when there's enough and you
Yeah.
can start focusing on it. He hired a content team.
Well, I will say that he had a very good sales engine and a very good marketing engine
Well, yeah,
before
of
he
course.
ever hired content.
Yes, because you have to. But-
And that's my rebuttal to your hiring a
Yeah, that's
content person first, is like, you don't have the money to hire a content person because content will not magically make you money overnight, right? Like
Right,
a
it takes time.
salesperson, and all of it takes time, right? But like a marketing and a salesperson, their whole inputs and outputs are revolved around either leads or revenue, and then either like outbound calls, inbound calls, closing percentages, and
Mhm.
revenue.
Mhm.
And so it's
Yep,
like,
yep,
it's a
yep.
lot easier to justify the costs there. Now, points to those people that can be a marketing guy and a content guy and a sales guy and a content guy, right? Like those are, I think they're getting less rare as microphones and cameras get cheaper.
Right. Well, I
everyone
think like
everyone can
as
make
you,
content.
when you focus on like, so I got another friend who does this. I got a couple more, like Mike Wolf, and got my other guy. I got another buddy of mine who does this. But it's just like I want, if for me, like content, I want it to be something like this where it's live. We can
Mhm,
live and do
mhm.
riff. Like I think that's a little more authentic, right?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
the other thing is I really like. So you look at some of the really popular videos. It's those. It's kind of like this weird in between. So like
Not full professional, not
yeah,
straight
and like
garbage.
so the guy Sam Sulek, you know, the bodybuilder.
Don't know.
Okay, clearly I'm not a bodybuilder, and I have no interest in being one. But like I like his videos because it's in between this reality TV / documentary.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
like it's like this combo of like
Yeah.
it's not really reality, but it's not like, and it's not a documentary because it's not really polished, but it's like this like vlog, like this day in the life, like he's just talking, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like documenting his journey of winning winning his whatever world's bodybuilding thing or whatever. And it's just like
Got it.
I hate, like I have no interest in bodybuilding, but like this is fascinating. Like why the hell it's like 5 minutes and I'm like, what the like how the hell am I still watching?
What have I done? Yeah. Yeah.
but I'm like, I gotta give it to, like, it's engaging.
Yeah.
Like I'm not maybe not the ICP because like he's I've seen a lot of
He's
people
probably
watch his
promoting
videos.
supplements and stuff too.
Yeah,
Right. Like
he's like, yeah, I've seen a lot of people like, oh, I've tried this, it works, and blah blah blah. And he's like, oh, and that's the other thing. This is what I think is interesting about content and like YouTube specifically, or some of these things is like you've got this documentary / reality TV, but you can post it that day and then you can get comments and he'll come back and be like, hey, someone in the comments told me about this. Like it's crazy. It works. Like I should hire you, or like F you, this didn't work or something. And it's like this weird, like you're involved in the story, like actually involved in this docu thing. And it's like so interesting. It's so crazy.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know if you remember like when we were kids and American Idol was call in to vote type of stuff.
Yes.
And it was like the top show forever because it was like audience engagement, right? I feel like what you're talking about is how social platforms and content, when done correctly and done well, right? And that's like on LinkedIn, why polls and different like asking a question or asking for advice works so well.
Right.
Is you're asking for other people to give their advice, right? Like everybody wants to tell you what they think, but not everybody is smart enough to see how cheap a microphone and a camera is, right?
Dude, you know what's funny is, okay, so two stories. I interviewed two really big influencers. So London Lazarson.
Oh yeah.
He's got Final Boss stuff. So I interviewed him on my podcast.
Sour candy,
yeah, Sour Boss, Final Sour Boss, or whatever. I interviewed him like 3 years ago, and he was great, super gracious. Like I really like him a lot. And then I interviewed Tyler Bender, who's also like a big TikTok influencer, YouTube person. And I asked him about content. I'm like, what's the key? And they had a lot to say, like a lot more, but this one highlights in our conversation really beautifully, which is like, you need people to like, they use the word fight in the comments, but it was this like, we need to create a discourse.
Conflict. Yeah,
something in the comments.
The algorithm absolutely loves conflict, dude. And I hate saying that because I hate seeing content that's just for conflict. But dude, it performs.
Well, but like, and yes, that does. But I think on the flip side, like they created just like this discourse, like maybe not like a arguments, but so this just happened in my post on LinkedIn today. Like I thought I was actually making like a pretty hot take, and then at the end of my post, I put like PS, like what's your Grail watch? And like everybody answered it in the comments and went back and like, oh my gosh, I love that watch, or like here's this, and like they started like posting stuff in there, and it was like I don't think anybody read my post. They just went to the bottom and they were like, oh, I want to tell everybody what my favorite watch is.
Yes, and
the post did pretty well, and I was like, so somebody's gonna read this and they're gonna get kind of mad, but like everybody's only talking about watches right now, which I was like, oh, that's cool, dude. Like that was the first time I experienced like getting a conversation started in the comments.
Yeah, and dude, like anyone that has lived on Reddit, that's like,
oh my gosh.
If you want to see how to do that well, go study Reddit. You know what I mean? Like just
that's true. Oh my gosh, they fight in those threads, dude.
Yeah, that's you live or die in Reddit, man. On the comment section.
And, well, to be like, but it's kind of like if you can make it through the Call of Duty lobby, like a 2008 Call of Duty lobby, or a 2008 Reddit thread. Like you're gonna be fine,
dude. Look at a 2025 Reddit thread, dude. Not much to slow down on Reddit.
That's true. They are bullies in there, man. That's a different beast in there, dude. Don't get roasted in Reddit, because our favorite Reddit thread, or sorry, our favorite subreddit is LinkedIn Lunatics, dude.
Dude,
oh my gosh.
How excellent. So, and
They
that's the
kill
thing,
people in
dude.
that thing, dude.
But dude, it's conflict. And when I say conflict, I don't mean like uh politics, Democrats
Yeah.
versus Republicans. I just mean
Yeah.
like two sides, right?
Right.
Like there's two sides of an opinion or whatever, and you're just putting them out there of like, go at each other. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Like to like you're just like throwing a bone and like let the dogs go at it. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
That's so interesting. I think that there is something to that. You know, we both know Jen Drummond. She does that really
Mhm.
well in her LinkedIn. She
Yeah.
creates discourse in the comments. By the way, Spotify released comments for podcasting.
No. Really? I didn't see that.
Apple's done. So Apple used to be number one for podcast, got taken over by YouTube because of
Video.
comments and video. Well, comments.
Oh, really?
You could
Okay.
just comment on it, right? Like, I mean, video
Yeah.
is obviously good, like and engaging and stuff, but like they
The ability to, yeah.
the ability for a troll to hop in there and start talking shit and then like bring the bandwagon. You
And
know what I
everyone
mean?
jumps in. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
Yes.
Everyone's going, what is it? Greasers and Jets or whatever the heck
Dude,
the
yeah,
West
man.
Side
It's
Story is.
crazy. And so I mean, Apple probably isn't good, but then Apple's trying to be like more of like a purist
Yeah.
in the podcasting sense, because technically podcasting is audio only, technically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why that's why the purist view of Apple is like this. No, it's audio only.
Yeah.
Like we're still number one in podcast. They're number one.
Right,
in
dude.
whatever this is, whatever
Whatever the heck you call that.
whatever
Yeah,
you
dude.
put a video in front of your face.
It's
Freaking
like the
jerk.
old telegrammers that are just, purists. They're just
But
booming in business.
Apple's out.
Apple has no
podcasting.
problem everywhere else. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
that's true. That's true. I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised if they okay. So, but the reason Apple was so big in podcasts in the beginning was
It
because
was
of
on your
ratings.
iPhone. Really?
iPhones,
Okay.
yeah, but I mean, 80%.
I'm saying like it's already downloaded because
Yes.
then you search it and it's like,
Then you can go.
that was my opinion. It's the whole like Microsoft being on
Yes.
PCs.
Right,
You know,
right.
that was my mind of. I could be wrong
that's
though. The
probably
ratings
got a
though.
piece of it, but a big
Ratings
one
is a
was
big one.
ratings, and
Yeah.
which was essentially a comment, which was
Yeah,
essentially
yeah.
like 5-star.
It was like,
I
this is
love
good. I don't like
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And you would go to the reviews and the ratings and be like, blah blah. That was like Google My Business or whatever. You know what I'm saying, for podcasts.
Yeah.
It was crazy. All right, dude. Well, I don't need to take any more of your time, but this has been really fun. At least I've had
Yeah.
fun. We probably talked about nothing, and
Yes.
we had a couple people listen.
This is the
So, holla.
Seinfeld episode of podcasts, right?
And by the way, they're all Seinfeld episodes now, dude. But dude, you know who said that? Nick's podcast was the Lunch Break podcast, and
Okay.
his was the Lunch Break podcast, or it was Lunch Break, and then his tagline was the Seinfeld of podcasts.
Yeah, there you go.
He's like, this is a show about absolutely nothing, and the points are worthless. You know what I mean?
Hey, but at least you're calling it out first, and you're not like acting like you found this profound thing when it's
Right.
that when you marry someone, you're now immediate family. You know?
Dude.
Oh.
So dang funny. All right, bro. Here, we'll
Alrighty.
sign off. But yeah, hold on. Boom. All right, stay here for a second.
Don't tell me.